If you're anything like me, there are two things you really want to avoid when it comes to your dinner. One is standing in your kitchen, spending every hour, every night cooking your evening meal, and the other is spending your hard-earned money on tasteless, overpriced convenience food. So today I wanted to share 5 of our go-to meals that we cook once and then repurpose into other meals throughout the week. I think for a lot of us, this is a big challenge. You want to eat better, you want to save money, you want to try and do the right thing, but we've all got jobs to do. We've all got kids' activities to try and schedule in and all that kind of stuff. So this is all about making things as efficient and as sustainable as possible for ourselves. And I'll tell you now, number 4, I only actually tried for the first time very recently, and it's already become a massive favorite of mine. We'll come to that in just a minute. But before I go any further, I have to thank someone for this video idea. Anderson Omo? Don't know, but this person, so thank you this person for this video idea, because we've actually been cooking and eating like this for quite a long time. I just didn't know it had a name, but it does. And it seems a lot of people refer to it as cook once, eat twice. I think some people might interpret that as just batch cooking, which is absolutely fine. But the way I see it, it is cooking something in bulk, certainly, and then using it for something different than the original meal. So I'm still saving time, I'm still saving money, but I'm also getting the variety, which I think is important for all of us, really, just to keep things interesting. And just another little thing that helps, well, certainly me anyway, to keep away from the takeout, you know, on the evening when you've been eating the same leftovers for a couple of days. And I would also say, especially good idea, this is if you have children to feed as well. I'm sure we all know how fussy the little angels can be on occasion and how you need to change things up for them from time to time. So I'm going to kick this off with an absolute classic. Let's start with a roast chicken. If this isn't in your repertoire, you've really got to get that sorted. The classic Sunday dinner. Obviously, this tastes fantastic if you get it right, which really isn't all that hard to do. And I would say it is also the poster boy of this kind of cook once and eat twice philosophy. In fact, with our children still being fairly young, I would say we can sometimes still sneak 2, maybe even 3 more meals out of one whole chicken. So, of course, we get the roast chicken itself, and then we might get like a chicken stir fry as well as some sort of creamy chicken pasta affair after we've pulled what's left off the carcass and stashed it in the fridge. And, of course, the bonus is getting that carcass into this here Instant Pot, or perhaps your own one would be more appropriate, but you're going to come out with some amazing homemade stock. Onion, celery, carrot, clove, some other stuff you want to put in there is fine as well, with some water. Very shortly afterwards, out will come a couple of pints of very delicious stock that you're going to be using in your meals for the rest of the week. So that, as your starting point, is kind of like cook once and eat 5 times, really, which is pretty darn efficient. And it just makes me very happy knowing how we're going to stretch that one bird out across so many different meals. Number 2 is something that makes me feel equally happy. Little bit more effort than roasting a chicken, possibly not, but that is a good old-fashioned bolognese. Also, as of about 2 months ago, prepared in this Instant Pot. I'm not getting paid to say wonderful things about this product, by the way. I just think that it is fabulous, and it is, in my opinion, an excellent investment that will help you save money on your groceries. Also, why I kind of hesitated about the effort it takes, because now we cook all the ingredients on the saute function in the pot, then the lid goes on, pressure up, cook for about 20 minutes to half an hour, and that is it. You've cut your cooking time by hours if you want that really nice, rich flavor from your bolognese, and you don't have to keep checking it every few minutes or half an hour, whatever, to make sure it isn't catching. All terrific, but of course, this is about cooking once and eating twice. So once you have your first night of spag bol, you're going to have loads left over that you can turn into some sort of cheesy pasta bake type of thing. And this will usually then keep us going for another couple of days. All we have to do is make sure we've cooked enough in the first place, obviously. Plus, this probably goes without saying, but if you don't want to repurpose it straight away, you just stick it in the freezer and you pull it out in a few days or a few weeks on that evening when you just don't have much time on your hands. All really very simple. Now, next up, yes, you guessed it, it's another Instant Pot special. I do really like this thing. This one is what you might call yogurt, but you British viewers may have a go at me if I don't also say yogurt. So there you go. I've covered both angles. This is a serious cost saving, whatever you call it, even though we've been buying for the last few years a pretty large pot of Aldi yogurt, which is pretty cost effective. It still comes in at around $8 US for half a gallon. Now we're paying about $1.80 for the same amount of milk, a little bit of electricity, obviously, and that's it. Once it's set, we use it basically all over the place. Dollop it in on fruit and dessert, spoon it into breakfast bowls. We use it in smoothies, in baking. Of course, our family favorite, yogurt, peanut butter, and honey, little snack that I've talked about before. I just recommend you try this too. If you have the tools, if you have the Instant Pot, I will confess it's taken a little bit of tweaking to get the consistency just the way we like it, but now we're sort of dialed in at, I'd say, about 10 hours in the pot after the milk's boiled, and we've added our culture to it. And I think, though I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think it's a little bit like our sourdough starter, which I've also talked about in another video, where that kind of gets better over time as you keep feeding it and you keep using it. So we're now feeding our yogurt with the live culture that we've produced, and it's leading to a better and better end result. In my opinion, there are a couple of caveats with this, namely that it's obviously got to be handled cleanly and carefully. You've got to use it within about a week or so, and I think you do want to refresh with new starter culture every few batches. But regardless, on top of helping us cut our food bills, which is super important, we are now vastly reducing our intake of any additives or preservatives that you might find in your average shop-bought yogurt. Okay, before we get to number 4, it's very important to me to know how this video is going down with you. So if you value it, if you find it helpful, give it a like, or if you're feeling really motivated, stick a comment down below and tell me your favorite cook once, eat twice meals. It is just really, really amazing, fabulous, fantastic when the conversation kicks off on our videos. I try and respond to as many as possible, so get involved and have your say. Now, number 4, mashed potato becomes potato waffles. Never tried this until about 2 weeks ago. I think got the idea from ChatGPT or something like that, but wherever it came from, I like it. Have you tried this before? So I always thought mashed potato was pretty dull, and quite often it would just sit in the fridge after day 1 and just look less and less and less inviting as the days wore on, until eventually this kind of grey mass of watery potato just gets chucked in the bin. But now I have a use for the leftovers, and it's a brilliant cook once, eat twice sort of solution. You just mix the mash with an egg, bit of flour, spring onions, some cheese, stick it into your waffle maker thing. As you can see, we top ours with a fried egg or 2, but you can add whatever you like, avocado, bacon, whatever. It's cheap, it's fast, it's way better than some sad reheated mash, and it's way, way cleaner than any kind of potato waffle that you're going to find in your local grocery store. Just one thing that I've learned I wanted to share with you is it's a lot wetter than I realized. So you're going to need to give it a decent bit of time in your waffle press thing, and or also give it an extra little bit of flour to try and bind it all together. But flavor wise, sensational. Family's going to love it. So that brings us to my 5th selection, and it's, believe it or not done in the Instant Pot. Although, to be fair, thinking about it, I probably could do it that way, but it does tick all the boxes anyway. Vegetarian, made with 100% standard pantry ingredients. It's budget conscious and it's versatile, and it feels really hearty and wholesome. And it's homemade beans in tomato sauce. Really not complicated, kind of like baked beans. So you start with your onion and your garlic, the base of everything. You can add things like cumin, smoked paprika, if you want to give it some extra flavor, a couple of tins of chopped tomatoes, tomato paste, stock, homemade preferably, splash of water, pinch of salt, little bit of sugar just to balance out the flavors, and simmer it all down. Then you stir in a couple of tins of beans. We usually go with something kind of creamy like cannellini butter beans, bit more simmering, and there you have it. That's it, without any added thickeners or colorings or flavors. And we crack this out literally like breakfast, lunch, and dinner until it's gone, which is typically in our house 2 or 3 days after we've made it. Okay, before I bid you farewell for this week, folks, I did want to give a quick honorable mention to another incredibly tasty little number. Done? Yes, this time it is in the Instant Pot. I couldn't avoid another one. I really should try and get a deal with these guys. Anyway, it's corned beef from a cut of Silverside. Holly did this about a week and a half ago. It's one of those old-fashioned cuts. It's cheap, it's very underrated. It just goes such a long way when you cook it like this. And it'll take you probably only about 90 minutes under pressure, comes out so tender, so beautifully salty, full of flavor. You can then put it in sandwiches. You can have it in a kind of a corned beef hash sort of thing for brekkie. You can just graze on it which is what I do very often, and you're just going to get dozens of servings out of it, and everyone in your house will love you. So a cheeky little sixth idea there to wrap this all up. That is how we do cook once and eat twice in our house. Very simple meals, very flavoursome meals, definitely less stress and less hassle that Holly and I feel when we're in the kitchen. And it's all whole foods with nothing out of a packet and nothing whatsoever ordered in. But what I really want to know now is, what is your version of this? What are you batch cooking and then repurposing into other tasty delights in your house? Tell me in the comments. Let's get that conversation going. And remember, if you found this valuable, a like is free and it's very easy to do. And subscribing to Grocery Dad could be worthwhile for you if you like to save money and eat better while making your life less complicated. And if that is your idea of a good time, then check this one out, because I think you're going to like that one too. Thanks for being here. I can't wait to see you all again next time.